A lot of people like to blog. They write about the thing that interests them, the thing they're fascinated with. There's a lot of people who do it on politics. People do it on food, parenting, dating, any kind of, boating, skiing, whatever their passion is. They blog about it. And for the most part, that is going to be a hobby for people. You can blog intelligently about automobiles, but you're not going to likely get paid the way the people in the auto section of a newspaper or an auto magazine do. Maybe bloggers don't care. They're just doing it because it interests them. Some of them perhaps do have dreams of being able to make money off their blog. It's a pretty tough thing to do. There are very few blogs that draw so many people that you can sell advertising. So it's an interesting modern-day element of communication. One blogger, the Huffington Post reports, recently decided to ask his readers whether or not they'd contribute a few bucks. Because if, in fact, he had some stream of income from the blog, and he blogs about being a daddy, he could be a stay-at-home daddy blogger and get paid for it at the same time. I don't find it remarkable that he would ask for a few bucks and see if it would work, but apparently some people not only found it remarkable, they're furious. Of course, on the internet, there's a lot of furious going on. That blogger is Adam Dolgan, fodder for, with the numeral 4, fodderforfathers.com, and he's the website blogger and owner. Adam, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Jerry. Nice to be on the show with you again.
Good to have you. Now, this is not the reason we have you on the show, but just for purposes of, disclosure of everything, you are married to Jessica Baker.
Yes, I definitely am married to the wonderful Jessica Baker.
All right. Yeah, she's listening, and you know it.
I definitely do.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, can we get any dirt on Jessica before we go any further?
No, I'm going to take the fifth on that.
All right. So how long have you been doing the blog about kids?
I've been doing the blog about my kids for about 3 years now.
Since you had one?
Yeah, since we had my daughter, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you began to do this. Why? Just because you found it fascinating being a father?
Yeah, I loved being a dad from day one, and I thought it'd be great to chronicle it and, share my experiences with dads coming up behind me just to maybe help them out, with some of the stuff that I had learned.
All right. And what kind of response have you had generally?
I think, so far we've had great response in the 3 years that we've been doing it. And, not only do we get a lot of dads, we get a lot of moms, too, because we talk a lot about involved fatherhood and parental equality, too, which I think a lot of the moms really enjoy.
All right. So what does parental equality mean in your view?
In my house, parental equality means we split everything down the middle. We're both working parents. So everything Jessica does, I can do on the other end, too. So we cover each other perfectly.
Anything she can do, you can do at least as well?
Equally, yeah.
Okay, equally. Not better, equally.
Not better, always equally.
All right. And then I imagine that you also blog about that, just the fact that two working parents, there are issues there as well.
Oh, definitely. There's always, the two working parents will always butt heads as, they're trying to raise their kids. There will be differences of opinion occasionally, but I think we work really well together.
Well, there are also challenges to it.
Oh, definitely. Scheduling and all that. There are issues being two working parents when one parent isn't staying at home, and you're both having to work it out. You
also used a term, I think you said, involved fathers?
Yes, I said involved fatherhood, yes.
What does that mean to you?
To me, it's kind of the new dad. I think more and more of today's dads really enjoy, being hands-on. They're not, especially the working dads, when they come home at the end of the day, they're not just, going off into a corner and doing their own thing. They're picking up whatever slack there is and trying to help out and be as involved as they can.
All right. Well, I can see where your blog would be popular with moms.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
All right. So at some point you decided, wouldn't it be cool if I could just blog for a living and then I'd be home with the kids? And so you decided to go online and see whether you could make that happen.
Yeah, it started out as a hobby. I really just enjoyed talking about being a dad, and my intent wasn't to go out and make money doing it. How this all started was I was just asking a question of my fans, not strangers, which has been put out into the media. I was just asking my fans. I said, if I were to become a stay-at-home dad, I wasn't asking people to pay me a salary as it's been portrayed, but if I were to be a stay-at-home dad and if I were going to chronicle it, would it be worth $1 to each of you for me to post, YouTube videos and things like that? It was kind of like a membership idea.
Okay.
But it was just posed to my fans. It was never meant to go beyond my page. It was one post that I put up. We discussed it on my page. I heard people's concerns about it, and that was supposed to be the end of it. But obviously the media picked up on it, and here we are today.
Yeah, well, I guess some people got angry at you, and that surprised me, Adam. It's one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you. Talking to Adam Dolgan, Fodder4, it's the numeral 4, fathers.com website. We're going to link it at my page at newstalk1010.com, is that when you asked for the money, that didn't shock me because I've certainly seen that before. I've seen it on blogs that I will pay attention to. I've seen it on software that I can download. For instance, it's just open source software. Somebody has developed it. They put it out there, you can download it and use it, and then they will ask you, hey, would you mind shooting us a few dollars because we spent a lot of time and effort putting this software together. I'm not offended by that at all.
Well, no, if I was going to, let's say, put out write about, being a dad and put out a book, and I was asking, for help funding it, I don't think that would have been such an issue. But maybe it was the title, maybe it was the way I worded it. I don't know really what people took as much issue with. Well, maybe people do it all the time.
Yeah, maybe it was just some people looking at it and going, yeah, I'd like to stay at home and get paid to hang around with my kids, too. Who does this guy think he is?
Yeah, I heard quite a bit of that, where quite a few people were saying, I don't get paid for it. Why should you? And why should you even expect to be paid for it? Which I wasn't expecting to be paid to be a stay-at-home dad. I was just asking my fans if I were going to put more of me out there, if it would be worth $1 to them.
Yeah. How much money did you get?
Originally we got $10, and then it was suggested to me that, since it was a social experiment, that I should shut it down. Unfortunately, I couldn't shut it down because then it was all over the internet and it was linked to all these sites. So I took it down to the $10, and then I got another $20 on top of it.
Was that $10 and $20 from two individuals or $1 at a time?
No, it's 3 different individuals who gave me $10 each.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, that's not going to allow you to quit your job, I'm imagining.
No, it definitely wasn't. But I mean, that wasn't what I was going for. It was never to be a stay-at-home dad. No, I wasn't asking strangers to pay me a salary as it's being portrayed in the media to be a stay-at-home dad. It was really just it was a blogger asking his fans if it was worth a small amount of money to put more of what he does out there.
In-depth radio.
Papers melt in a Maytag dryer. Crayons go up one drawer higher. Rewind Barney for the 15th time. Breakfast 6, naps at 9. There's bubble gum in the baby's hair. Sweet potatoes in my lazy chair. Been crazy all day long, and it's only Monday, Mr. Mom.
That's Lone Star on In-Depth Radio, News Talk 1010. I'm talking to Adam Dolgan, Fodder4Fathers.com website. He's a blogger on the issue of being a dad, a relatively new dad. For about 3 years he's been doing this, and the Huffington Post reported on the fact that he threw up on his website one day, hey, would you pay $1 for this website every year? And maybe if I had 50,000 of you, I could afford to stay home and not have to be, I could be a full-time stay-at-home daddy blogger with more videos and all that stuff. And some people got really angry. There are people who are going to be able to figure out a way, Adam, to make a living off of this. I mean, we have, some radio people now going onto the internet. We have Humble and Fred. They also, of course, have the show on this radio station in the middle of the night, which helps them. But Humble and Fred are probably one of the more successful efforts of radio guys taking their show straight to the internet. There are other people who have taken their passion online with a blog, as you have. Most people not making money. But if you can garner enough readers, if you can get the eyeballs, so to speak, there are people who would pay to put an advertising strip along the bottom of your blog or some such thing.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think the most telling thing about this is the number of fans I actually have. So I have 50,000 fans. So that's how I was posing it.
I see.
It was $1 per fan. And did I think anyone would go for it? No, I didn't think anyone would go for it, but it was worth it. It was worth a try. It was worth asking my fans if they'd be willing to do it. And it was a good conversation that we had on our page, and it was supposed to stop there, and then it just kept going and going and going.
Well, have you ever considered finding a way to actually monetize your webpage?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to write a book. if I might want to do a podcast as well. I've had conversations with people about doing these things, but again, it's how much of yourself do you really want to put out there, and it becomes tough. I mean, you're asking people for money, and I guess they're going to want more and more and more of you. So you have to decide really how far you want to take it.
Yep. Well, I know that the internet is the future for a lot of people in terms of being able to build a business. They can build that business from home. There's a lot of advantages that are possible there, Adam. The traffic reports that your wife, Jessica Baker, gives us all the time would be alleviated somewhat if a lot of us worked from home, and that would be one of the ways to do it. There are plenty of people who are working very hard to try to figure out how to make a living on the internet, and as we go forward, more and more people will.
Yeah, I think it's great that people can make money blogging, and as you said before, it's very few people that can make a good living at it. I think as dad bloggers, I think I can name only two.
Yeah.
That have done, are very successful at doing it.
See, what I was trying to do there, Jessica, is make it easier for him to stay at home, but then I was going to eliminate your job.
That's what I was just saying. I was like, great, you give him a job, and then you take away a job from me. Thanks a lot there, Jerry.
Well, you have to start a blog about something.
Yeah, well, I'm not the writer. And
I see.
let me just say something while I'm here. I don't think Adam gives himself enough credit. There are a lot of people who would not want to be a stay-at-home parent. And here's a guy who to be honest with you, when we decided to have kids, I wasn't too sure what kind of dad he was going to be. And he turned himself into this champion father who I think, as far as stay-at-home parents would be a much better stay-at-home parent than I could ever be. I know, right? I know. But at the same time, while I do understand that people aren't going to pay someone to be a stay-at-home parent because lots of people do it for free, and it is probably one of the hardest jobs, he also has an incredible blog and Facebook page that people read every day, that people comment to me about on every day, and $1 a year. What big of a deal is that? All
right, then I'm going to get you, Jessica, rather than Adam, to answer to this email I just received.
Okay.
All right? Marie writes, Jerry, I can see why people found this man's bid for cash offensive. It's his attitude and language. He keeps talking about his fans. What is he, Kim Kardashian?
Oh, come on. Okay, on Facebook, they are called fans. That's what they're called. I'm not saying that we have people knocking down our doors and stalkers ringing, the doorbell and trying to send him fan mail. But he does call his readers fodders and fans, and that's just what they're called.
All
okay?
right.
These are people who subscribe to his blog. And again, if you go on it on Facebook, you type in Fodder for Fathers, you'll see he has 51,000 people that read his stuff every single day. So it's not like there are random people reading it every now and then.
All right, one more thing. Who looks better, Kim Kardashian or your husband?
Oh, come on, Jerry. Don't do that to me.
All right.
My husband's a good-looking guy, but Kim Kardashian's got it in the rear.
All right, Adam, it was good to talk to you. Thanks very much.
You too. Thanks so much, Jerry.
All right, this is